Hey guys, and welcome back to Miss Azrael's Gaming. So today we're going to get back into the Port Landsend incident, which is the Port Landsend investigation. And in the last episode, we watched the videos about Caleb. I think he was also known as Colby. And there has been some kind of like mysterious incident or something like that. We saw like at one point he had kind of like a fit or something like that. From talking to him, we were able to open Lieutenant Colton. And so I was going to start on him in this playthrough, but I remembered that I wanted to search seizure with Caleb, since that's kind of what it looked like he had. And we've got 2 new videos here, so let's go ahead and start those.
On the TV monitors, when we were outside, we were watching, and you seemed to start shaking or something for a second. Are you okay now? What was that? Do you need anything? We can call the paramedics to check you out.
I don't know. What do you mean? I feel fine.
Are you sure? Your head was moving, shaking. You don't remember that?
No.
Do you know if you're prone to seizures? Do you remember anyone ever telling you that?
How about the blackouts? Ever wake up in a new place? Did you black out last night? Still don't remember being there this morning?
Are you sure we don't need to call in some sort of medical help?
If he refuses care and doesn't seem to be in mortal danger, that's his choice. It's on him.
Okay. One more time, Caleb. Do you wish for us to call someone in to look at you and your medical condition?
No. Fine with whatever happens.
All right. That's that. Let's move on.
Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this one.
Can you describe what that shaking was at all? It can't be the first time. What does it feel like?
When it happens, I feel like I'm dreaming. It's hard to explain. Right now, it's like the memories are there about what I saw. I just can't tap into them.
Any idea how long this has been happening? Days, weeks, months, years?
Honestly, today feels different. Before, in the woods, I just felt like I was dreaming, like a dream I couldn't wake up from. That's what it felt like walking in the woods. But now, today, as we're talking, I feel both clear and that same cloudiness at the same time. It's like I used to know things. I just can't recall them or something. But there are these new images and sounds now.
How about the twitching? A nervous tick?
I don't know what you mean. I hear things.
You see things? Voices in your head telling you to do things?
No, it's like watching a movie. No, 2 movies. But we're all in it.
We're in movies in your head?
Yeah, it's just like it is right now, but on fast forward, then back to normal, and then they happen.
What do you mean? Can you explain it a little bit more?
It's like us, but 2 versions of us on top of each other, or in different directions. 1 movie, 2 plots, 2 outcomes, and then it happens.
What happens?
The movies, they replay in real life. Well, actually, one of them does. It plays out in real life over again, but normal speed.
That sounds like you're almost saying that you can see the future or something.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's what it could be.
Wow. What's in store for my future? Will I become the mayor? No, better yet, rich and famous? Actually, what are the best lottery numbers to play today?
It's not like that. It's short. Like what's going to happen in a minute or 2.
So what's going to happen?
I don't know. It's not happening right now. I can't just do it.
Right.
Almost sounds like it's like interdimensional or something, like he's experiencing two different worlds. Like a multiverse. Let's see. I spelled that right. Might have spelled it wrong. Nothing on that. And then, did I look up? I don't remember if I looked up woods. Okay, yeah. I think I've looked up that stuff for now. Let's go ahead and watch Lieutenant Colton's videos. Okay, suspect Lieutenant Colton, Jeffrey Colton.
Interference. 1 second. Alright, we're ready.
We got a full house.
Yeah, busy day with all the comings and goings surrounding the news. Appreciate you doing this in here since the main floor is so busy and loud today.
Yeah, no problem. Although I do feel like a suspect sitting in this room. I told them we needed more than one trick room for times like these, or when the city really goes to hell.
Small town, small priority, I guess.
Exactly.
Alright, go ahead whenever you're ready, Jeff. We're rolling.
My name is Lieutenant Jeffrey Colton. I'm a police officer with the Port Landsend Municipal Authority, badge number 20145. Here to give a statement, deposition as to what I witnessed at 221 First Avenue East, the Morgan House, here in town this morning. Today is October 31st, 2012. I'm entering this statement on my own accord and submit it for official record.
Okay.
Yesterday morning, we received a call to respond to dispatch at approximately 9:15. Somebody walked by the house in the morning, described a mid-sized, two-story Victorian house typical of the area. They had noticed a window next to the front door was shattered and the front door was open, so they called us in to assume that it was a break-in. I was in the area, so I pulled up and was the first responder to the scene. The neighbor who called in is an older resident who lives down the street, and with the summer rentals here, she thought someone might have broken in looking for something to steal. It happens occasionally here in town.
Oh. Okay, so this must be the house. 1031 12 221 First Avenue East. This is a creepy looking house. Don't see anything standing out. Nothing in the windows, thankfully. Okay. Let's go to the next video.
So I walked up to the house, which is older, a bit run down, maybe just uncared for. Weeds, overgrown bushes, that sort of thing. Walked up the path, up to the stoop, and onto the front porch, immediately noticing damage to the front door. As I reported, I confirmed the damage, shattered glass, splintered wood. It looked broken into. The door was still closed and I could see inside through the white curtain. I made the decision to enter the premises at that point, yanked open the door, still thinking I was entering a robbery scene. You know, we don't get a lot of violent crime here, so I had no reason to think otherwise. The odd bar fight, theft. Anyway, nothing too serious.
So far, no clues.
So I called out I was entering, announcing myself. The front hallway was narrow, dark, even though it was light outside. Well, overcast. Inside it was messy. The doors to the side rooms, dining room, and the sitting room were closed, and some leaves had blown in all the way. I know college kids were staying there now, and there was a typical college kids things and stuff lying around. Bag of clothes, sports equipment, empty beer boxes, that sort of stuff. At the end of the hall, the living room door was closed, but it was damaged. A lot of the houses in the neighborhood are old with doors to each room and all have the same or similar layout, so I felt comfortable walking and checking on things. The living rooms are always in the back here. So I walked past the staircase, down the narrow hall, and about halfway down I noticed some gashes on the wall, like on the front door, and I thought it was soy sauce. Or my mind went there to soy sauce because we had a neighborhood prowler a few years ago who still was actually in jail on another crime. He worked at the local sub shop, but he would film vacationers through their windows. He apparently became so obsessed with this group of guys staying next to him that he broke into their place, sprayed condiments all over the walls, and did all sorts of weird things in the rooms and the bathrooms. When we searched his place, he had pictures of him everywhere. Really weird guy. Anyway, that's where my mind went when I saw the stains on the walls. It was condiments. The gashes didn't really raise my alarm either. It was dark, so I thought maybe the kids were having too much fun with the drinking and the partying and whatnot, and the things that got out of hand. So I'm halfway down the entrance hallway, and it's really dark. And I get close to the living room, right to the living room door. At my feet was a large, dark, sticky stain coming from the door. But it was so dark, I couldn't really see what it was. I pushed the door open, and the smell was very strong. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know if you've ever smelled it. That distinctive smell of the inside of an animal, people in this case. I struggled to open the door because something was in the way, debris. Once I did, inside, immediately in front of me were the victims on the floor and on the furniture and the walls, everywhere.
Okay, so Captain O'Shea, there are crime scene photos showing the extent of the victim's injuries. You need to see to believe. Hope you don't have a weak stomach. I'm talking to the tech guys right now to make sure your connection to everything we have on the case, or connected to everything we have in the case. Not sure why it's not popping up right now. Hopefully just a glitch. So we can't see the photos right now. Okay, let's murder. Oh, can we get back on him? I guess you can't specifically search with Lieutenant Colton. Let's try bodies. Nope. It's kind of hard because he didn't really give us any good keywords. Let's try stains. No. Let's see. Crime scene? Are those new? Yeah.
At that point, pulled out my gun, called out once again, identified myself as an officer of the law, and that backup was en route. I called for backup on my radio at that point, but now we know it didn't go through. The house was dead. It was very quiet, almost peaceful. It was pretty eerie. First time I'd ever seen anything like that. I don't know what I expected, but it was odd how quiet it was. I froze. Everything was frozen in time in that room, it seemed. Wasn't expecting the silence. Bizarrely, there were white sheets over everything. The kids must have placed them there. All the furniture, the ground, everything. The students were located in various positions, or parts of them. It was like a bomb went off. Looking at the bodies, I had difficulty even processing what I was looking at. It was a mess. They've now been identified as all 4 of the deceased victims. DOA was reported by paramedics. The names are confirmed as Emily Thomas, Brian Watson, Gregory Sims, and Alana Morgan. All students from the University of Western Washington. When I say I couldn't tell what I was looking at the time, I mean I couldn't tell if it was 2 victims, 1, or what. It was an absolute mess. They'd offer counselors for us due to the severity of the scene and the victim's injuries, and I'm considering it. I could make out huge, wide gashes were present too from what I assume was 1 or multiple cutting instruments. Pieces everywhere. Like I said, they seem more like bomb victims, almost fake, or like art somehow. I don't really know how else to say it, but what was left was just unreal. It didn't look real. I've never seen anything like it in all my years in the force. Then in the corner of the room, one of these shapes, bodies, moved just a little. I took 2 steps towards it, them, and then it screamed. She screamed. But the fear of God in me, that noise, piercing that silence in the room. So I realized we had a survivor and rushed over to the only living victim, Heather Gardner.
Now from that video, we got Elena's last name, which was Elena Morgan. We didn't get that the last time. article. Or video, I should say.
New tonight. Shocking news coming out of Port Landsend. The bodies of 4 deceased Western Washington students have been found in a house on the town's east side, with reports of a single survivor being rushed to St. Michael's Hospital this morning. Authorities aren't releasing any details on what may have caused the deaths in this otherwise sleepy vacation community, but anonymous sources described it as one of the most horrific crime scenes they've ever come across. All we know about the survivor is that she's a female in her 20s, in critical condition, with her wounds being listed as egregious by local paramedics. More on this story as it develops.
Okay, so let's continue with these ones.
I had no idea if there was still an active threat in the area, so I tried to provide support as best I could, not really knowing where all the injuries had occurred on Heather's body. I was pretty useless just telling her to stay calm while waiting for help. Again, on my uniform, but there was interference. I felt like I was being watched somehow too, and given the gravity of the scene, felt like I needed support. So I quickly exited the house, back down the hallway, out the front door, and called for more emergency responders from my patrol car. Once backup arrived, Terry came and we went through the house and cleared it room by room, not finding any other victims. The photos taken at the scene all confirmed what I described. We had 4 dead who we couldn't identify until next of kin were contacted. All we knew right away was they were likely young. 3 were basically macerated, and I don't think there's official confirmation yet. Too soon. The coroner's still working on it, although I know he's having trouble.
Okay, and the last one.
You didn't wait for more backup? More cavalry? Just Terry was enough?
At that point, Terry and I decided to check the rest of the house, just in case anyone else was in the house, injured, or even if we could still catch the person, or persons, who did this. We were careful. We went in slowly, cleared each room. Guns drawn. The front room was really the place besides the living room that had the signs that a struggle had occurred. There's a broken lamp on the floor, still on, and there was a chair on its side, but that was it. To me, it indicated someone was in the room, got surprised, possibly fought back, and then left quickly. So the ground floor was clear, apart from the living room, obviously. At that point, we proceeded upstairs. Got to the first room to the right of the stairs, a small guest room. The door was slightly open, lights were on, and found nothing. Nothing. It was completely empty. There's a bathroom across from that room, and there was nothing. Nobody in there either, just empty. All the rooms were like that, weirdly empty with the lights on, but I swear a dark cloud was following us in every room in that house. Not a real cloud, but there was eel in there. Here's the layout.
I was gonna say, I wonder if we'll get the layout. Okay, so we have the front porch, the hallway, front room, sun porch, breakfast area, galley kitchen, into the dining, the living room. Assuming there's a garage up there. BGKF. I wonder what that stands for. I'm assuming that's where the bodies were. Okay, I'm gonna look up Elena Morgan. Since we've actually got a last name, maybe something will come up. Oh, we got something.
The victims in the living room, or at least from what was discernible, possibly indicated someone had mutilated the bodies while they were living, or as corpses. There were remains, blood, everything strewn about the whole room, aside from 2 of them. The photos show exactly what we came across. I just can't imagine why or how they could have ended up that way. Unclear if there was a struggle in the room at this point. It looks like the window glass was shattered or blown out too. The preliminary timeline is being formulated.
Wait, do you think someone shattered the windows from the inside, or something blew up inside the room, killing them?
Deliberate shattering seems unlikely, but we can't rule anything out. Maybe an explosion went off. Sure. I don't know.
Maybe there was a gas leak in the house, but fire damage was minimal, maybe from the candles. There were knife wounds and gashes too, so someone must have done that to them up close and personal.
Yeah. I guess we just don't know yet.
Okay. Look at the gashes. Nothing. Let's try Terry. It's the guy that helped him, got 1.
Terry's deposition has been filed. If you'd like to look it over, you can. Pretty much is exactly what I've been saying.
I was hoping we might get some evidence from the deposition. Let's try scream, because he brought up that girl screaming. Nothing from that. Try silence. Nothing. Yeah, see, this game's really difficult because I'm really not sure what to ask, unlike her story where you could get like a lot of words to kind of search. I'm having trouble coming up with things for this one. Nope. If I could spell. Let's try living room. Nothing in there. Try upstairs. Nothing. Struggle. Nothing. Try fight. Here we go, fight.
After clearing the house, paramedics arrived, went inside. We then established identities from the victims belonging in the house. I now know that the victim I found alive was Heather Gardner. As mentioned, she was alive, barely breathing on her side, and we got a partial heartbeat when we found her. She had a lot of cuts and other wounds, and we immediately rushed her to St. Michael's Hospital in critical condition by the EMTs. She must have been a fighter, though. We pulled the skin from under her nails, and she had bruising on her arms and other defensive wounds. Maybe she'd fought back in the living room when she confronted the attacker. Rick, she was in bad shape. I honestly can't believe she's alive. Must have been quite the attack. Heather was in critical condition when she arrived. Honestly, didn't think she was going to survive when I found her.
Her hair was singed slightly too.
Oh.
These damn power surges. Ever since lightning storms we've been having all this month. I'll talk to maintenance.
The place is falling apart.
Time to hit up city council for some cash.
Because that will work, right? We've gone over the preliminary timeline of events based on the coroner's findings and our own. This is subject to change, of course. Basically, we're ruling out robbery now since nothing seems to be missing. Still could have been an attempted, though. Okay, so we think the intruder came into the house in the front. And this could be anywhere between 12 and 4 a.m. since the bodies have been dead for several hours when we arrived this morning. Maybe even later. We think. I mean, we know most of the students were in the back in the living room when the initial attack began. Forensics so far hasn't helped much, which is odd considering they're supposed to be the national experts from Seattle. Maybe not. There was a lot of blood in that room. The window shattered, indicating it was quite physical. There could have been a confrontation in the front room, where we found the broken lamp and a victim or victims that fled to the living room. Maybe someone even walked in on the attack. It's unclear why or if Heather was spared intentionally, but she survived, thank God. It's possible she was left for dead or the attacker was interrupting during the attack and fled. No other witnesses have come forward thus far and have almost completely blanketed the neighborhood and local communities appearing for help.
Try attack. Nothing. Let's just try Rick. That's who he's talking to. Nothing in that one. Let's try suspect. Nope. I really don't want to use a clue, but I might have to. Did fight. I'm having trouble coming up with words, so let's go ahead. Let's get a help real quick. Okay, so need some idea what to check out. No problem. Here, take a look at this. I unlocked a video that might help back on the database screen.
Victim's name is Greg Sims, a junior at Western. Besides Heather, he was the only one intact. Honestly, when I turned him over, his face was horrific. I'll never forget it. It was his expression. He looked terrified, beyond recognition. Next to him, there were a couple gash marks going into the floor. We don't know from what. Like I said, we didn't see any visible markings on him. Definitely not like the rest of the victims.
Actually, looking over the autopsy results, it says he died of massive pulmonary failure leading to heart failure.
So he asphyxiated? Couldn't breathe?
Yeah, but no indication of strangling was found on him or anything restricting his airflow.
So he choked to death on nothing. How's that possible?
I don't know. You said he looked scared?
It was his expression. Can you die from being scared?
Probably could. Scared. Nope. Try autopsy. Nope. Let's try Greg Sims again. Maybe he's got something to say about him. No. Heather Gardner. Nope, nothing on her. We did Elena. Emily Thomas. Nope. Let's try, see if he has anything on Caleb. Here we go.
The guy seems a little wacko. What a waste of space. I imagine he did a bunch of inhalants or worse with a memory like that. If he's actually even telling the truth. Could still be completely bluffing, although he's about as dumb as a bag of rocks.
Well, his memory seems to be coming back to him. Slowly.
Something's coming back all right. And that thing on his back, all over.
The burns?
Burns. Or disease.
I've seen you out there, working with other homeless. You never saw him before today either.
Look, I know a few of them. Helps me keep an eye on what's going on in town. Don't think I've seen this guy, though, before.
The witness remembers him pretty well.
Yeah, she identified him. It's a big help.
Burns. Oh, we got a whole bunch.
Yeah, so you forced me to do your health check now. So what?
Okay.
The toxicology report. Positive for illicit drugs, high white blood cell count, swabs from hands inconclusive. Blood type AB, positive, with a note. Old and fresh scarring throughout. Blisters and burn marks on back and feet.
So my foot's a little swollen and has some bruises. There's no law against that, is there? I've been walking for a while, and I think you got the diagnosis wrong. Those blisters, the burn marks, scars, whatever, they're probably just sores from being outside in the world, sleeping rough every night. I told you I remember walking, hiking for a while. Maybe I'm a diabetic. They have foot problems like that, right?
Maybe you're a crackhead. Seems like the old crack walk to me. Rick, what do you think?
I'm sure that would have come up in the blood you drew from me. I still want to know if that's legal, by the way. You want to see? All right, fine. Yep, those are some gnarly feet. Tomatoes, tomatoes. They're blisters, who cares? And a high white blood cell count? Isn't that good news? Fighting an infection, I assume. I feel like I'm a little nauseous. I might be coming down with a cold. Nothing else then but a few positives for some drugs. Probably false positives, I might add. You're going to charge me with getting high a while ago? Does Washington State even do that? Oh, and okay, I've got some scars on my back too. I'm pretty old, I'm not surprised. You want to see some more? Huh? Do you?
Oh. Okay, it's the laboratory results. Okay, have not yet been recorded with the following differential of blood cells, urine, sediment exam, urine, specific gravity, and urinalysis test individual. Okay, so I'm assuming this means it might be elevated. I don't know what any of these tests mean. I'm not a medical person that way. Okay. Sodium, potassium, and chloride. Here we go. AB positive, swab results hands inconclusive, blood diagnosis tentative, suspect suffers from anemia, high white blood cell count, results indicate positive presence of illicit substances, and recommended sample be run through the full drug test lab. Recommended urinalysis is a secondary procedure. Physical exam tentative, old and fresh scarring throughout, blisters, bruises, and exposed symptoms concentrated on neck, back, arms, and legs. Hands and feet show various minor wounds of unknown origins. Exposure and blister wounds also present. Unclear origin of old scars. New scarring blisters likely partially due to exposure to heat. Okay, let's go to the next video.
Fine. Here you go. Don't say I didn't warn you. I hope you haven't eaten lately.
Oh my god.
What is that?
What? What is what?
I don't know. I didn't get to see it. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. Those look like some gnarly scars. I mean, I guess they could be blisters like an iron poker. Crazy.
What? So I have some scars. People go through different things. We're all survivors. We all have our scars.
You think you were in a fire at some point?
And how many times? More like a pyromaniac or something. Some of those look pretty fresh, too.
Do you mind if we take some photos of your scars?
Kaylee already got a photo of that, actually. From the exam. That's part of it. And by the way, guess where else there was a fire? The house. A small one, but still a fire nonetheless.
You think it has something to do with the electrical storm we had last night?
Yeah, that was weird. Cleared out the remnants of the festival in town pretty quick, though. Tell us some more. Those scars look intense. Remember ever being whipped before? You don't remember a single fire, right?
I don't know.
Does it hurt right now?
I was thinking of whip marks.
Not really. I don't feel anything too different.
Still look fresh, too. Almost like you spent way too much time in the sun. Or were around something really hot. Our crime scene's got a little bit of evidence of a fire. It does make you think. So we did find some burnt material at the scenes that we're looking into right now. Couldn't tell what it was at first. You know anything about that?
No.
Right. Helpful. Truthful as always.
Okay, Captain O'Shea, one thing you have to remember with this case, and something I really don't like about the suspect, is how evasive he is the whole time. Unfortunately, it's a reoccurring theme in the case, complicating things for you. He did a short bid for perjury immediately after this, however, at the request of the PLPD. I can see why. Let's try scars. Nope, nothing new with that one. Okay, let's try fire. Oh, here we go.
Could the fire have been put out by someone? Or why don't you think the whole room caught fire? Maybe Heather did it before she passed out.
I suppose it's possible. She was kind of injured.
True. That is true.
Well, we have got at least half of Caleb's on there. Anemia? I think that's how you spell it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the stuff with Caleb. Looked at his burns. Yeah, this is tough. I'm not really getting a lot of words. Well, they mentioned a festival. Let's just look that up for shits and giggles. Nope. I did look up house, I believe. Oh, here we go with the detective, or the lieutenant.
Honestly, the house looked perfectly fine in some ways. Probably how it looked before the attack. And other areas look like complete war zones. It seems like it could have been some psychotic.
Or personal grudge.
And it's not like we noticed anything obviously missing.
Or could have been a robbery.
I mean, there's still debate amongst the officers about how this whole thing could have happened. You know, the timeline.
What even happened?
The basic logistics, how the killer did all of that to all of them.
Or killers?
Mention killers. Nope. Let's try Woods again. No, I was hoping maybe the lieutenant would come up with something. Let's try time. Nope. I was gonna say, because he'd mentioned a couple times where it's like he was missing passages of time and things like that. Let's try EMT. Nope, that just brings us back to those videos. Let's just ask for another hint. I'm really not coming up with any words right now. Okay, so you're doing pretty good. Another video is ready for you on the database screen. Okay, thank you.
Alright, so let's go through your stuff together now. Now that the circumstances have been changed, this should be fun. We've got a receipt here from Denny's for a pawn shop ticket from Seattle last month. No name on there. Remember being in Seattle? No? Okay. Looks like you pawned a tablet. Is it yours? Do a lot of computing on the go. Greyhound or bus seat from Ellensburg to Seattle for about a year ago. No name on that one either. No name on that one. Wow, you're around. What else we got? A lighter. Of course. Let's have Keely get a hold of that for evidence. Last but not least, we have a metal pipe. Sergeant Barron, do you mind running a test on that? I want to see what we're dealing with here.
Okay, the PLPD, KT 07834 BLA 1141 lighter. It's on suspect. It's a neat looking lighter. Let's try drugs. I brought up that with him before. Okay, we got some new ones here.
Next up in your crap. What else we got? Nice one. Oh yeah. How could I overlook this? Now, that's a large knife. What are you doing with this?
Never seen that. It's not mine.
Right. I want you to submit this and run a test on it too. Send it to forensics and see what they say. This doesn't look good. Drugs, knives.
Okay, we've got the knife. PLPD by KT 07834 BLA 11:19 a.m. knife on suspect. And it looks like we've got something on there. That doesn't really look like blood. It looks more like dirt. Handle's taped.
Look, yeah, okay. I've been known to dabble. I somehow remember that. I do remember that. Couldn't tell you where, or when, or with whom, nothing like that. Must mean I dabble a little bit too much. We all have our vice. I don't ask you about yours. I don't feel like I'm on anything, okay? Maybe a little cloudy, but mostly clear-headed.
Well, we got some news in that department. Toxicology came back in the pipe, tested positive for everything under the sun. The report looks like a friggin' rainbow.
It's not that serious, is it? Isn't it legal now?
What, you mean like hard drugs? No, still not legal.
It's one explanation for the amnesia you're experiencing.
We could throw those charges on there too. We're here to talk about murder though. What caused their deaths? How about you tell us that?
Well, you're all over the news. I did a special edition just for you. Harold's calling it the worst crime in the town's history. You have a little legacy for you and your family. So proud.
I have no family. Plus, I didn't do that.
You know what? Maybe you were all messed up on drugs. That at the time you didn't know what you were doing. If you weren't in your right mind, people sympathize with that.
Yeah, you got a bad trip, bro. It happens. Or maybe it was a thrill kill. You wanted to see what it was like. That experience. Everyone's pushed things too far sometimes. Things get out of control. It's understandable. You're human. Other people will see that if you tell them that.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay, well, then did these kids say something to you before to make you angry? Everyone gets angry. I get angry all the time. Makes you want to shout at someone or something.
I got so angry one time that I knocked my coffee mug right off the kitchen table. It shattered. I know I scared my wife half to death.
You see? You probably couldn't control that. It was out of control. That was terrible. And it's okay. Things happen. Especially when we're not in our right mind.
Let's try a knife.
We'll need a swab kit, please, for hands again.
Well, what is it? Is it the smoking gun detective?
Actually, no. It's the blood test results of the knife. Inconclusive status. Not seen that before.
Let me see that. What's that mean? No blood.
RSID came up negative, and Hematrace did too.
Let's run it again. Or try the luminol.
The tests they did were more accurate, but we can run it again.
Maybe the machine's broken. Or send it to Seattle. They have better equipment there.
We can try that. They also did a general ID test, and it says foreign matter unidentified for 14 to 32 substances found on the knife. The rest are dirt, fibers, foodstuffs. No blood.
Yeah, let's run it again just to be sure. And let's get this guy back to do our wellness exam. Is someone here to check him out and swab him down? You can refuse to do one voluntarily, sure, but things are a little different now that you're under arrest, pal.
Guy needs to clean his knife. Way too much stuff on it. Okay, so negative test results of the hemoglobin complex, precisely unlikely. According to the ADA guidelines, hemoglobin traces of greater than 15.7% represents optimal control in a non-pregnant blood test cases. This assay result is consistent with non-positive identifiers of hemoglobin-controlled test cases with 0.0009% viability accuracy. And then for additional information, it gives a address, email address, or website address, excuse me. Okay, let's try. Oh, helps if I click on it. Pipe. If anything came back on that. No. Let's try Seattle. That's come up a couple times. Nothing new on that one. I think I searched this before, but let's try it again. Nope, got a new one on it.
We ran a lot of the blood we found at the house already. The blood matches the victim's type so far with no foreign blood identified. With Heather and the blood and the skin found underneath her nails, it's all coming back as AB negative.
AB negative. That's pretty rare around here, right?
Yeah, so I'm thinking with any suspects, we draw their blood, and if it comes back AB negative, we have our murder.
In theory, I guess. Can only do that if they're arrested. But it could be worth pursuing.
Just try AB. Nothing came up. Crime? Nope. Oh man, I can't come up with any words. Like, I think I get a good word and then I don't know. Let's just ask for one more hint. Wrong thing. Give me another hint, O'Shea. Okay, one more on the database screen. I think he sounds a little irritated with me, but oh well.
Oh yeah, the neighbor? Our sole witness, Ruth Forsbrand.
Here we go, there's
Yeah, I suppose we could talk to her some more. We just got her statement at the scene, but she's more than happy to give us details of what she knows. Very cooperative. A little odd, but mostly harmless, I think. She's lived here forever. In fact, she even knew my parents. Said she saw her man Caleb walk out of the house at the crime scene. Let's get some more details from her.
Okay, so nice. That's 3 suspects unlocked out of 5. Keep going, this case gets pretty weird. So we have unlocked Ruth. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it there. And the next time we come back, we're going to start with Ruth. Hopefully I can start picking out some of the words better so we don't have to keep constantly asking for a hint. Because I'm just going past words that just seem so simple to me that I'm not expecting them to be the answer or what. But hopefully you're enjoying this series. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about it. Leave me a like. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this video with somebody who might enjoy it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.